Hello everyone and welcome to the Carcode YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name's Sam. Today I'm checking out this, the latest Audi Q3 3rd generation. Firstly, a huge thanks to Lake District Audi, to Stephen the sales manager and the full team for making this video possible. All of their links are in the description down below, so definitely check them out. After all, where's a better place to test a new Audi than on the road to the Lake District? So in the last few years, Audi have released quite a few premium cars like the A6, the A5, the Q5 and the Q6, but now it's time for the volume segment. The Q3 is a very big seller, especially in Europe, where people like to have that small to medium sized SUV, but still want to have the premium brand of an Audi and have those creature comforts. So this is exactly what Audi is aiming to deliver with this new generation car. And you can see there's no minor tweak here, it is a completely different vehicle. The main thing that has been quite controversial online is the exterior styling. So let's start off with the outside and see what is different from before. In the UK, the Q3 launches with 3 different trims. You've got Sport, S-Line and Edition 1. This here is the S-Line model with a few optional extras which we'll get onto in a bit. To the front of the Q3 is the biggest difference, of course. We've now got these split level headlights with your daytime running lights up here, basically the eyebrows, with 23 little elements on each side, and they're customizable with 3 different designs to choose from. As standard on the Sport, you don't get this customizable signature. However, it does have like 3 different lights in it, which does look quite nice, but these are better on the S-Line and Edition 1 with the customizable sections. It looks really cool. And then the main beams down here, they're LEDs as standard, and on Edition 1 they're the Matrix LED, more clever lighting technology. However, they are auto dipping as standard across the range, and they've got this more square shape now, but I really like them. In a way, they kind of remind me of a JQ7, but not in a bad way. It looks like a more premium version of that car. And of course, they've had the split headlight design for quite a while, and also added it to the A6 and also the Q6 e-tron. So yeah, I really like it, it looks cool. You'll find this very open grille. This is slightly different on the standard Sport model. It's a little bit more closed, not as aggressive looking as this, but I really like this on the S-Line and Edition 1 models. You've got a bit of silver trim down here as well, which makes it look a bit more SUV-like and rugged, and this new single frame grille as well. It looks really smart to the front end. And if you look at this grille here next to a Q5, you can really see the similarities. For comparison, that's a Q5 grille. It's like a baby Q5. To the side of the Q3, it has grown by about 4 centimeters, mostly to the front of the vehicle, giving it a bigger overhang and a longer bonnet, which I quite like the look of. However, the wheelbase is the same length as before. It's now based on the MQB EVO platform that underpins the Golf 8, instead of the MQB platform that was on the Mark 7 Golf. So it's a newer platform which allows for more electrification, as we see with the hybrid and this mild hybrid as well. It's kind of more curvy than it used to be, so it's harking back to the 1st generation Q3. I wasn't a massive fan of the design of that car. I much prefer this. I think it looks nice and sharp. I wasn't sure at first, I have to admit, and it is one of those cars you kind of have to see in the metal, and it does look a lot better. But yeah, I prefer the Sportback that has that coupe SUV shape to it. It's about 3 centimeters lower the roofline, so not quite as practical for the rear passengers, but it does look more stylish. And how about colours on the new Q3? Well, Audi hasn't disappointed, it's safe to say. You get a metallic paintwork as standard, £695, but it's included in the list price. So if you get the standard Arcona white solid, you can take £695 off the list price of the car. This is the Mythos Black, which looks nice and sleek on the vehicle. If a little bit boring, there's definitely many more funky colours you can go for. Also, you can have those on the Sport model. Those colours include the Navara Blue, Progressive Red if you want something a little bit sportier, Volcano Grey, which is a nice dark grey metallic. That should be quite popular. A lot of people like that stealthy look on the vehicle. You've also got 2 new colours, Sage Green Metallic, which is nice, something a little bit different, and also the Malpelo Blue. That's definitely my favourite. If anyone's looking for a Christmas present for me, a Malpelo Blue Q3 Sportback E-Hybrid Edition 1 would be great. if you're looking, or you could just subscribe, that's free. That would make me very happy. And this is the Glacier White Metallic on this showroom model. This is the e-hybrid, so the plug-in hybrid model. If you want to see me cover this fully on the channel, let me know, and if there's a demo, try and do a review of it, because it's quite interesting, the hybrid powertrain now on the new Volkswagen Group cars. So plenty of colours there. You also have the pearl option of the Arrow Grey, which is nice, and you can actually get that on S-Line and Edition 1 as well. Normally that colour's only on a sport model, so that's great. It's got a bluey hint. I really like that colour. Going up to S-Line and Edition 1, you have two exclusive colours, Daytona Grey Pearl. That's been in Audi's range for a long time. It's a nice pearlescent dark grey, and also Madeira Brown Matte. That is quite expensive at £2,355 or £1,660 more than the metallic. So add that on top of the list price. It's a lot of money. I'm not sure how I feel about a brown matte paint either. I'd like it if it was metallic, but maybe not matte, so I don't think many people will be buying that. My absolute favourite then is the Malpelo Blue, 100%. It's so nice to see that Audi have gone out there with some interesting colours rather than just black, grey, white. The rear design of the Q3 might look a bit more familiar than the front design, and that's because essentially it's lifted off the new A6. If you haven't watched my video on that car, you can click up there. So you've got this nice thin light bar all the way along, and then your taillights spreading out at either end just to give it a wider look. It looks really good. Also, you can have the light up Audi badge, which is really cool. So there is your light up Audi badge. It's a bit Marmite, not everyone likes it, but I think it's a bit of fun. Why not? It does look really good. You do get a rear wiper as well, and also you get a rear wiper on the Sportback. It looks nice and smart. Nothing offensive. You've got this nice honeycomb section here. You've got the LED taillight as standard and more clever OLED technology, which looks really cool. You can change the signatures, whereas these are just a fixed one, and then a slightly different, more basic again on the Sport standard spec. Of course, in true Audi style, you have the beautiful sequential indicators, which look great. And the front indicators are just as impressive, really nice sweeping function. Obviously on the Sport model, they're not going to be quite as clever as that, but on this S-Line and Edition 1, they look fantastic. And how about your wheels available on the new Q3? Well, let's start off with the standard Sport model. As standard, you get the 18-inch silver multi-spoke alloys, which just look a bit small for the vehicle. I'm not a massive fan of them. You can upgrade them for £300 to the 5-arm Aero diamond cut alloy wheels, which do look a lot better, but again, still quite small on the car. Last but not least on Sport, you can upgrade them to these 19-inch diamond cut 10-spoke flatter aero alloy wheels. However, they are over £1,000 optional extra. They do look good. They're more of a sleek look. Going up to S-Line as standard, you get the 19-inch 5-arm platinum grey alloys, which look like this. They're nice, but I do prefer the two-tone look of these. Good job is you can upgrade them to these alloy wheels for just £300 on S-Line, so that's really good value. My favourite though are the twin spoke alloy wheels, diamond cut, for £650. I really like how they look on the vehicle. And last but not least on S-Line, you can upgrade them to 20-inch Edition 1 alloy wheels. Again, they're just over £1,000. They do look great on the car, but you are going to sacrifice the ride comfort a little bit. On Edition 1, they're the standard wheels you get, which I think look the best, or you can upgrade them to the S-Design multi-spoke alloy wheels for £150. I don't like those as much. So 18 to 20 inches is the range of wheels on the Q3, with 19s definitely being the sweet spot, really suiting the look of the car, but also giving you a decent sidewall for nice comfort on the move. So you do have the different gear selector, which is quite interesting, and the different indicators. I will go through those and let you know how they work. Driving this, it's nice and smooth. They're all the 7-speed S-tronic dual clutch automatic now, so there's no manual available, which normally I'd be sad about, but I kind of get it. On this mid-size premium SUV segment, pretty much no one wants a manual anymore, which makes sense. On the smaller SUVs, you still can get a manual on the Q2, for example. However, that will be going out of production next year. So if you want a brand new Q2, now is the time. But this Q3 is going to be the entry into a premium Audi SUV. So powering this Q3 is the base engine, the 1.5 150 PS 148 brake horsepower 4-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine mated with the 7-speed S-tronic automatic, very smooth and silky. I've got this in efficiency mode currently. You can change your drive select. It just starts you in balanced each time, which is like your normal mode if you like. but efficiency is a good one to leave it in. It's happy to coast a little bit more in efficiency and also changes up the gears nice and quickly. And it's nippy enough, to be fair. It's very torquey with 360 Newton meters of torque, getting the Q3 from 0 to 62 in 9.1 seconds. That doesn't sound too fast on paper, especially for a premium SUV, but for this size of car, especially for a more comfortable family car, is plenty enough. You can of course also put it in sport mode and boot it, and honestly, this is an eco. It does pick up speed really well. We will go on to the dual carriageway in a bit and see how it is picking up to the faster speeds, but I've not found it to be an issue. It corners quite nicely and the suspension isn't too firm. This is the S-Line, so it's on sport suspension and it's on 19s. So this is a really good ride comfort. On the 20s, it is going to have a firmer ride. They're standard on Edition 1 models and optional on S-Line. Visibility is pretty good out the car. You've got the nice door mirrors as well that don't stick out too far. And you've also got the blind spot monitor inside the door mirrors. There you go, you've got the blind spot monitors. They work really well. I really like that they're on the inside of the mirrors as well. It just catches your eye so much than on the outer, so they're really good. It kind of coasts a lot of the time when you're off the accelerator. It is a mild hybrid, so it does do a bit of regen braking, especially when it notices a car in front. Automatic recuperation, you can turn that on or off. I've just left it on because it just makes the drive just a bit easier, smoother, a bit more efficient as well. On twisty roads, it handles quite well. Like I say, these 19s aren't that firm, so it's quite good. And it doesn't roll too much in the corners unless you're going like quite a fair speed. It feels pretty stable. So it definitely wins in the way it handles compared to cheaper Chinese rivals, which can just be a little bit less connected to the road and also just not quite as controlled on the corners. This remains quite settled and quite planted on the corners as well and at faster speeds. You can get a Quattro model as well if you want all-wheel drive. However, you do have to go for the 2-litre petrol to get that. Can't get it on a 1.5. However, if you put all-season tyres on, you should be fine. The standard tyres on this are Vulcan tyres. Indicator, you get used to that really quickly as well. This is your indicator. Works as a normal indicator. Really easy to use. It doesn't feel that alien, really. You'll get used to that, no problem at all. Obviously it self-cancels as well, so that's fine. These are your wipers, so you've got auto, low and high, like so that's easy enough to control. Adaptive cruise control is on this stalk down here. Very classic Audi. I'm not a fan of the cruise down there, but it is something you get used to, and actually with this setup it works a little bit better. I've selected here. Not a massive fan of this because of the push down. I prefer the twisty style one that you get on the Tiguan, but you do get used to this, and I like that when you pop it in park, the handbrake comes on. So you've got drive, press down again for sport, and sport will come up. You see S1, down again E. I've got it in efficiency, so it says E. Neutral and reverse on there as well. So that's fine. As I say, pop it in park, and the handbrake comes on by itself, so that's really good. This also all moves with the steering wheel on the steering column, so if you're really tall and sit far back and you bring the steering wheel forward to you, you can see all these controls come with the column. So it's actually quite ergonomic and makes a lot of sense. The indicators, actually, I thought they were going to be more tricky to use than they are. They're just like having a shorter indicator. I normally only press the end of the stalk anyway, so I find them quite intuitive and easy to use. The gear selector, not as much of a fan of it, but you do get used to that. You've got auto hold, and you don't have to press the brake hard like you do on the hybrid Audis, the diesels. It's comfortable as well. These seats are nice. Maybe not everyone will find them most comfortable. They're not super squishy. They're to the firmer side, but they're not bad. I really love the ambient lighting in the door cards, lighting it up. It just looks so good. Audi claim around 45 miles per gallon combined for this 1.5 petrol, which is pretty achievable actually, especially a mixture of driving is quite happy to do that. Something about this cabin size down in this more compact size versus the A5 and A6 makes it feel a bit more premium somehow. A few people have said that. It just feels a bit more solid and a bit more user focused because everything's just within touch and reach, a bit easier, easy to use generally. And that mild hybrid tech's nice to see on the vehicle as standard. That battery helps you with things like the auto stop start, for example, and it also just allows the car to coast more and essentially turn the engine off a lot of the time. So you can see now the A has come up to say that the engine's basically turned off for that bit when I was braking, which is quite clever. Done it again there, you could feel it shut off, using a lot less fuel, which is great. You kind of don't expect it because they don't really list it as a hybrid at all, and that's why this 1.5 does really good miles per gallon. You can also get the 2 litre TFSI Quattro, 201 brake horsepower or 262 brake horsepower, same engine as the Golf GTI, but of course Quattro instead of front wheel drive. And then of course you've also got this same engine but with the plug-in hybrid e-hybrid model. That has got that range of around 70 EV miles because it's got that 25 kilowatt hour battery. So that's really impressive to see actually. Same as the other Volkswagen Group vehicles. Unlike most of the new Audis that are on the premium platforms, this is on the MQB EVO platform that arrived with the Volkswagen Golf 8. It also underpins the new Tiguan, and also this car is very closely related to the Cupra Terramar. They're actually made in the same factory. But then this will keep its value a little bit better than the Cupra. So basically it is a Tiguan dressed in a posh Audi, and that's not really bad because the new Tiguan is a great car. Yeah, just easy to live with. I think a lot of people would get on with it just fine. It is of course a bit more expensive than other rivals like the Kia Sportage for example, which gives you all the tech that you might want. A lot of it's down to aesthetics as well. This obviously has a little bit more of that premium look and feel, especially inside as well. It just feels that cut above cars like the Nissan Qashqai, but of course you do pay that extra in price. They're not cheap now though. The Qashqai, they're getting quite expensive, and also you've got to consider in 5 years, 3 years time, what's going to be worth more. Without a doubt, it's going to be the Audi. You have a nice commanding driving position as well, as you'd expect from an SUV, and it's a fairly square shape, easy to judge the size of for sure. So coming up to traffic lights now, the van in front slowing down. The car started to slow down a bit, but I've used my brakes there. The brakes generally are okay to start off with braking. They can be kind of gentle and using the regen, and then they can get a bit grabbier when you add a little bit more pressure. It takes a little bit to get used to that. When you're smoothly accelerating, the gear changes are pretty seamless on the DSG gearbox. It's really good, and I feel like in the mild hybrids they always feel a little bit smoother as well, especially at those slower speeds. So now it's going into its regen. It does that with the little green section that says max, so you've got your max miles per gallon and then it goes into your regen section. You can turn off the traffic sign warning as well, that's always at the side, which is really good to see. Can occasionally read the wrong sign, or there's areas that you want to turn it off, you can do that. You have to do that each time just because of the EU regulation, but it is an easy enough one to do. I'm already used to those indicators, that's good. It just feels really solid. There's no squeaks or rattles in the cabin, pretty refined. As standard you do get the 10 speaker sound system, however you can opt for the 12 speaker Sonos sound system in the Sound and Vision pack. That's £1,300, gives you the heads-up display, the Sonos sound system, and also increased output for your chargers. So I'd say it's worth going for, definitely. Standard sound system is just okay, but the Sonos should be really good. My dad had the Sonos sound system in his Q4 e-tron and he still goes on about it, he misses it. I remember it being good, I don't remember exactly how it was, but he really liked it. So it does have that clever tech where you can see the car in front braking and then it slows down, which is really good. Dynamic is sport mode, so that makes it more responsive and kind of holds onto the gear a bit longer to give you the peak torque. It's got nip to it if you need to. It will go. But generally, this is more of a cruiser, I'd say. There we go, efficiency. And it shifts up them gears really nicely, especially in the efficiency mode, so obviously it just sits at low revs. I can hardly hear the engine. If I cut them off, it literally turns the engine off and coasts completely. So the engine is not even running right now. So it's the same as like the MHEV Plus diesel Audis, that the engine can fully turn off. I'm going 70 miles an hour now and the engine is off. Just literally coasting, and think about how much fuel that is saving. Because it's not a full hybrid, it's not like giving me one pedal driving. I do have to use my brake if I want to slow down significantly. and then that is putting all that energy, lots of it, back into the battery, which is great. You can feel that torquey feel. 360 newton meters is excellent, cruising nicely. Suspension's really settled as well, going along at these faster speeds. Really good, impressed. It'll be nice motorway cruiser as well. You do get a bit of wind noise from the door mirrors. It's not too bad though. I really like that the screen's facing towards the driver as well, definitely giving you more of a driver focused feel than you get on some competitors for sure. Climate is all through the screen, which I'm not normally a fan of, however it's always at the bottom, so it is really easy to access. You don't have to go through loads of menus. I also like on the home screen that you can have the different widgets on it. I think that's nice. You can also customize this to how you want. It's based on an Android automotive system, very responsive as well. It also is quite clever, the car, in that it knows what's going on, so it'll tell you if there's a junction to come off the accelerator, etc. One thing that I did that was so clever, I was coming down into Kendal, down to 30, it said foot off because it's changed to 30, it slowed me down to 30 by the time I got to the 30 sign, which was really cool. It didn't just get there and slam on, it just nicely slowed you down as you would gradually do anyway, so it was really good. You get a good view out as well, like I say, the back window's pretty good too. Obviously on the Sportback, so the coupe SUV, you're not going to get as good of a view. I do prefer the look of the Sportback slightly. I always did, I really like how it looks. It's just that bit sportier, I suppose. It feels like the Q5 in a lot of ways, but just that bit smaller. And honestly, you don't really miss out on much boot space or rear space either, which we'll move on to in a bit. So it might just be one to go for this one. You can also get it with a diesel should you wish. You can get the 2-litre TDI, 150 PS, again 148 brake horsepower, and that will get you from 0 to 62 in 9.2 seconds, so a tiny bit slower, but it's pretty negligible. That will feel a little bit more diesel-y, of course, probably not quite as refined, especially at town driving. I wouldn't bother with a diesel at all. In fact, I probably wouldn't bother with the diesel full stop. I'd just go and get this petrol mild hybrid or the plug-in hybrid petrol. The 2-litre petrols are nice to have that bit of extra zip, but I don't really think it's a necessary thing that you definitely need or anything like that, because this gives you enough poke really. Suspension's not firm either. Over the little bumps and stuff you can feel it on these 19s, but it's a good blend, so I'd probably stick with these. If you get the Edition 1, you get 20s. However, that car does come with the dynamic chassis control, so you can change the dampers to how you like. It's not air suspension, but it is still pretty clever, and it allows you to put it in the comfort suspension or sportier, firmer suspension. The kind of thin, wide display is a little bit strange. Again, takes a bit of getting used to. It would be nice if it filled up the screen. Not everyone's a fan of this kind of slither of how it is, and I understand that. It would be nice if it was like full screen. So this is 11.9 inches. You can have the maps in the cluster as well if you want, like that, which is quite nice, of course. Classic Audi, or you can have the revs. You've also got the paddles as well, so you can manually go down the gears should you wish. Lane assist can be a bit harsh. You can turn that off by holding down this lane assist button here. Really easy. And then it just says lane departure off, so that's great. How is it on a twisty bit of road though? Let's have a go. It's good. It's just smooth and nice. We've got a nice dead pedal in a very good place. It's ergonomic. I found it very comfortable actually to drive all day. It's been fine. We've got Audi's new centre stage setup, but a little bit different, so shrunken down a bit for a smaller car. So you've got a 12.8 inch central infotainment screen, 11.9 inch digital dials for the driver, which is a very thin, stretched out one, so a bit different. As you can see, you've got ambient lighting, which looks really nice, and this nice metal dash. It doesn't show well on camera, but it's all got little dimples in it. It's really nice. This little bit of Alcantara at the top really makes it feel more premium on this S-Line. Just a nice detail. And in the door cards, look how pretty that is with the laser cut sections and the light just coming through. Really pretty, just looks fantastic. Nice materials all on the doors. Being the S-Line, you've got the perforated leather and the flat bottom, flat top steering wheel, hexagon shape that we got from the Q4. This is actually very ergonomic. It's a nice thin wheel, unlike you get in a BMW, which is really chunky. This is really nice, so very ergonomic, especially if you've got smaller hands. It's really great. You've got some shortcuts down here, like your rear camera button. Rear camera, you get that as standard on the car. I like that it shows you the centimetres, how far you are away on the sensors as well, so you see there. it says how many centimeters you are away from things, which is really good, and also gives you that great view. Nice armrest, I really like that. S-Line, you've got it in leather. On the Edition 1, it is in Alcantara, which looks nice, but isn't very practical. This has got a dark headlining, being an S-Line. Sport has a light headlining. You can opt for this sunroof, as this one has got. Not cheap, but it does make it feel even more premium in here. And if I was going for a dark headlining model, the S-Line or Edition 1, I'd definitely go for it. It's one that you're able to physically open as well. It's not the switchable transparency one. You've also got electronic blind as well. So if you do want it to have more of a cozy feel, you can do that, of course, like so. So that's really nice. Sport has got a fully round steering wheel without perforated leather, so it just looks a bit meh and not as nice as this. Ambient lighting, you can change all that to how you like it. I like the yellow. Let's do yellow. All your climate controls stay down here, and you can just press that fan button, it brings it all up. So it's dead easy to use. Also, you can just quickly change it on there, and it's very responsive. It's actually easier to use a little bit than what you get on the new A5, A6, Q5 and Q6 as well, because it's an Android automotive system. So it looks a little bit different as well. You do have built-in Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wireless as well, which is great to see. Different menus on here. You could change your different lights. As I say, your exterior lighting, you can change the different signatures on it on this S-Line and the Edition 1 model. My favourite's probably the default setting number 1. That one, that is very Q4 e-tron. I like that. You got your different displays here as well. You change most of the settings of the virtual cockpit with these buttons themselves. You do have the little widgets on here. You can change as well what appears, as you can see. So they all come up and you can kind of change it to favorite things, different apps, etc., which is really useful. Drive select through the screen, or you can press the drive select just here. You don't have to press it through the screen, you can press it again and it'll select it for you, which is really handy. As you can see, the dials do change slightly as well. I've been leaving it in efficiency. You got wireless phone charging as well, 15 watt, so not the fastest, but it's nice that it's there and it is cooled as well. Cameras and parking sensors, easy button there, and also safety assistance systems. You've got a really easy button here to bring them all up, as you can see, so you can quickly turn them off. This traffic sign one though, it's always there at the top, so you can easily turn that off, which is good. Really, it's quite intuitive. Heated seats as well, they are standard now, as well as 4-way driver lumbar support, which is great to see, and adaptive cruise is standard too. So Audi is being a bit more generous on their cars now. May cost more than they used to, but it's not that you're not getting anything extra for that cost, so well done Audi. As you can see with the digital dials, you do have the blank sections at the top and the bottom, which doesn't look the best, but then when you're driving, this is what you see. So the top of your steering wheel kind of covers that. It's so you can have this seamless look, especially when the car's off. I guess that's why they've done it, and it just gives you that one-piece effect, as we see from Audi Centre Stage. I didn't really find it an issue to use today. Seats on the Q3. Sport comes with the fabric in black and grey, which looks okay. Going up to S-Line, you get the twin leather, so part synthetic, most of it's genuine. They're more of a firmer leather rather than really supple and squishy like you get on some other cars, but they're generally pretty comfortable. I've not had any issues with comfort. I've been driving this all day. I like how they look nice and sleek and thin. They're the same seats that you find in the new A5, for example. Going up to Edition 1, you get my favourite seats, which have got the Dominica Alcantara inserts, which look really good. They've also got fabric on the outside, which is quite nice. You can also opt for a few slight changes in the seats on the Edition 1, such as red stitching for £415, which is quite expensive for a bit of red stitching, but it will elevate the car that bit more. Okay, and what about the boot space on the new Q3? Well, as you can see, you've got a pretty big space. On paper, it doesn't sound like it. 488 litres, so it's not as big as the Tiguan, but it is similar size to the Terramar. This has, of course, got an Audi boot liner, which is an accessory, but it does make it look nice and tidy in the back of here. If you do go for a plug-in hybrid, you get under 400 litres of boot space, so you do sacrifice a bit, as the fuel tank lives underneath there on the hybrid model. It's not the biggest in the class, but it's a very usable space. As you can see, very square. This will be perfect for most families. Like I say, outside it's not grown a massive amount from the previous model, so that's good. Something quite interesting that you can actually opt for on the car, this one doesn't have it, but you've got the subwoofer as standard with a 10-speaker sound system. It's okay, it's not bad, but the Sonos will be better with the sound and vision pack. You can opt for a space saver spare wheel for £75 on the non-plug-in hybrid model. To be fair, I'm used to not carrying a spare wheel round, but some people it's a deal breaker having a spare wheel, so you can have it in the Audi. This has also got the electric tailgate. You've also got your warning triangle living up in the boot lid. Little light there as well, 12-volt socket just living there as well, which is great. You can get a storage pack to make it a little bit more clever in the back of here. Folding the seats down, you just grab the tag and it folds down, so quite easy. There we go, grab the tag. There we go. The false floor is in a lower position, so that would be flatter. And yeah, nice. The seat backs are really good quality as well. And what about the rear space in the Q3? Well, this is my driving position. I'm about 5'8". I've got loads of leg room. I've got leg room under the seats as well. Headroom's not too bad. The sunroof does cut into it a little bit, but not bad. You've also got the classic tags on the side of the seats to recline them back, just like in the Tiguan. You also have a similar system in the Ford Kuga, and you've also got a rail underneath so you can move the seats forward to give you way more boot space or slide them back. That 488 litres is with the seats slid all the way back, so of course if you move them forward, I'm sure that's about 600 litres, so that's really good. Middle armrest here, that's really good. You've got cup holders in there. Audi used to charge storage packs for that. Yeah, I'm not joking, so it's great to see that. Nice and comfortable. You've also got your tri-zone climate control and 2 USB-Cs back here, as well as these net pockets. There is a bit of a hump here for the middle. Let's check out the middle seat. It's not too bad, the middle seat. The back's a little bit firm, but the base isn't too bad. Short journey's fine, but it's honestly not too bad. It's about the same as a Q5 back here. ISOFIX points are on the outer seats. They are really a bit annoying, and they're even more fiddly. They're tiny, so make sure you don't lose those. Front passenger seat ISOFIX too is great to see. Back windows go all the way down, really nice. You also still have the pretty nice materials in the back as well as you do in the front, so great to see. Families should be very happy back here. It's nice, boxy, square shape, means it's really practical. So that is the new Audi Q3, and what did I think? Well, honestly, when I first saw pictures of this online, I wasn't 100% sure, and the design has definitely grown on me. Also, all that tech from the more premium, higher end Audis shrunken down to the Q3 actually really works and makes a lot of sense, and it's just quite easy to live with, more so than you'd think, and I wasn't sure if I was going to find it so intuitive, but it is. It doesn't feel too big to drive. It's a really nice size vehicle actually, able to be practical with a big enough boot and rear space, but not being like a massive boat on the road. So I like it for that as well. The mild hybrid technology also cutting the engine out a lot is great to see. So I really like that. There's a lot to like. It's not perfect in every way, of course. Price is probably one of the main things, but it's an Audi. It is a premium car, so you are going to be paying more for it. With these options on this car, this is around £43,000. So yes, not the cheapest. However, the plug-in hybrid model will be very attractive to company car buyers with lower benefit in kind tax and impressive electric range. Once again, a huge thanks to Lake District Audi for making this video possible. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next one.